What up, dude?
Hello.
There we go. Look at
Hello,
this.
hello. Technology at work.
Technology magic. I love it.
I
What?
like that microphone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not even, don't
Feels
tell
very
anyone it's not
official.
plugged in.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Look at you. Where are you? Are you in like the tropics or something?
Oh yeah, it's in the tropics of the Venice, East Venice backyard, you know.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. You look good. You look good. You look healthy, man.
Well, that's what you happens when you sit outside, you know. You get all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sun.
right. You get real sun on your face. I love it.
Yeah. Beats sitting seating inside.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, I'm stoked to talk to you. I mean, you and I have a long time friendship and working relationship as well. But
Yeah, do we have to
so
act like we don't know each other and you don't know all my stories?
no, no, we can pretend. You could just don't tell any of my super deep dark can secrets or anything. That would be real. That'd be real sad for me.
That is true. That's not a joke.
It's not a joke. Um, but so what's going on? What are you working on? What are you doing?
Well, I
I want
mean,
you to
mostly
tell
what I'm
people
working on right.
about the
Yeah, I
Alem
mean,
film.
well, let's see. A limb film, what do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Well, there's lots of things I want to know. I want to know, like basically where,
Well,
how
I'll
did
tell you how
you?
it kind of, yeah, sort of how that
Yeah, tell me how it
started. It
came
was like,
came to be because that I think is pretty interesting. That's a good story. People would
yeah, I
probably
mean,
want to hear about.
it sort of started at the beginning of the brand. I kind of became the default like campaign photographer just because there was nobody else, so so it started like that. And basically from there, for this the film we made was basically we had this location that we were planning on shooting stills at, and then we started looking at it and I was like, well, we should do something. We should shoot some video content with this. It sort of started like that, and that led to me kind of I started building an idea, and I didn't at one point I didn't know how much we were going to go with it. I thought I'd probably just shoot it myself, and then I met up with a friend of mine, Roman Vazyanov, who's quite a well-known feature cinematographer now. We were having lunch, and I started showing him some stuff, kind of with the idea that maybe I could get him involved in this somehow. And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And this is a guy I can't
Ah,
even
dude,
get on my
love that.
commercials anymore, because he's always booked. So it was like, okay, and he's a big black and white photography guy, and we just sort of like, okay, let's do this. And like, when can you do it? And it was like, we found a date that was literally like a week later that we were going to have to do it. So we kind of just threw it together, and we had the location, so that made it easy. We did the casting, and kind of the approach with it was basically creating, as Alem, she has very specific tastes in fashion,
Yeah, yeah.
architecture and
I mean,
photography.
I was
She was,
surprised you got something
a
done. I mean,
fan
I
of
was,
like Irving
because
Penn's work and things like that. So a lot of it just kind of came from that, like, what's the story that we can tell that's a reflection of the brand, that's a reflection of Alem, and how do we bring a French element into this kind of California feeling? And that's sort of where it started. And we just sort of put together these still lifes and went out with a small crew and shot it. It was one of those, it was like
did
it,
you
it's
did, did you like work through a script at all ahead of time, or was it like, how did you go about like? It's kind of like that. I don't know, for lack of a better term, kind of a cat and mouse kind of, or kind of.
yeah. I mean, I
There's a
think it
playful
started with
nature
it's
to
like
the
yeah, it started with what can we do in this location,
right.
and then it became okay. What can we do with two people in this location, and that's sort of where the cat and mouse idea came about. And there's probably a little element of you know being at the mercy of another person in there, that kind of thing. And you know, it's funny because like LM didn't actually want to know what the plan was, what we're doing. It was a little bit like, okay, just make something and I trust you. I don't think she really knew what we were going to do until we started shooting it.
Wow.
Yeah, so and then from there it was like we once we shot it, we had to wait like a month before we could actually start editing it. And I went up to actually to edit with a friend of mine in Toronto, and the first time I sent her the film, that was the first time she really understood what we were doing, and she was like, "Wow, this is great."
Oh,
So yeah,
well,
so
that's
it's
good.
it's kind of interesting. Yeah,
I mean,
it turned out.
her brand is incredible, and which I know you've support you guys have done a lot of stuff, and you've been shooting things for it for a while. Hold on 1 second there. There we go. But I was like, I don't know, just it's hard to work with someone who's so passionate about what they do, and they're so they have a vision in their head, and then you are trying to make something for them, but also like for that plays to a broader audience as well. So it's like,
Yeah,
so I
well,
imagine
that's the
that.
thing. Like by osmosis, just being around LM and kind of being there at the genesis of the brand and knowing. I lost you for a second there.
Yeah, it's okay. Of the point 0.5 people watching this, they're still there. Go ahead.
You said
Did I leave?
something.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm losing you a little bit, but what did you say?
I don't even remember. I was making a joke. It wasn't that funny.
Yeah,
It was about no one watching this, so it's just me and you here now.
yeah. Well, that's that's better. Better
I
that
know
way.
it's totally better. I don't know what's going on with my phone, but
Oh, we
yeah,
actually
you
have
were
a
talking about
question.
the
What did we
genesis
shoot on?
of the being there for the genesis of the brand start and all that, and how it helped, and kind of understand
Yeah,
like what she would like and things like that.
in a way, it made it easy to create a concept because I'm basically working with, inspiration that's kind of the inspiration for the brand, and the architecture and the still
Yeah,
lifes and everything that kind of made it into the film, including the styling, which Alem actually styled the talent, which it's remarkable they dress a lot like she does, and
I
and
like how
so
she dresses.
such a small crew and such a chill group that
What
uh,
did you? I got a question because someone's asking what you shot
yeah.
on.
Yeah, we shot on the Alexa. We basically got an Alexa for the day, and we had we had one light. We basically had a single light, an Arri M80, and that was like what lit everything. And it was pretty simple. We just we had the house, and we had like a crew of about 4 or 5 people. That was it. And we just ran around shooting. And the day we shot it was interesting because we expected a sunny day, but it turned out to be really foggy. So it kind of carried over into like some of the like the end shot of the film. You end up seeing it's like kind of we're behind schedule, so it's night and it's foggy
Yeah.
out, and that we just kind of like accepted what
Well,
we were gonna get.
it came out beautiful, obviously, and then like I mean, when I put it up there, I got a lot of compliments on people are asking me questions on DM and like how did all kinds of different stuff like how did they conceive it, just so people really appreciate
Yeah.
the beauty of it. What did you color it yourself, or who handled that?
So basically, I had just come off of doing a project in Toronto, so I asked one of my editor friends there that I work with a lot, and Married by Giants is the editorial company,
Oh,
and
I know those
Alter
guys.
Egos,
They're
yeah,
awesome.
and Marko Vrankovic, he's a guy as a friend of mine I've worked with before. Said, hey, could you help me out with editing this thing? So I actually just flew back up there to go do the edit, and Alter Ego and Connor Fisher next door, they basically said, yeah, we'll do the grade on this. So we kind of lucked out,
Yeah.
and that's how we got it
Yeah,
done.
what's their the color house next door? It's got a different name or something, right?
Alter Ego,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, those guys, yeah. So
Someone is complimenting you on your use of reflection. Lots of fire. It's
yeah, thanks.
Shots by Swago. Yeah, he's a good dude. He admires your film. Um, well, cool. What? So, like, where did you? What were you know? Did you decide to take it in? Who are you showing it to? You know, were you? What was the plan? How did the brand want to use it? That's another good question. It's
Well,
like,
I mean,
what
that's
did
one of the ironies of the making of this film is we had always talked about not wanting to make a film. It just kind of wasn't really necessary for the brand, and um, it's when you're a small brand, it's kind of a big expense to go and spend a bunch
yeah,
of
for
money on
sure.
shooting a film. And I don't think we really had the intention of making a film until sort of like I said, it started with the location. It was like, well, if we're going to have this great location, maybe we should shoot a little something, and then that little something
Yeah,
turned into a bigger something. And uh, you're committed, you kind of got to make it good. So that's where we were at with that. We just didn't want
yeah, for
to
sure.
we didn't want to do something that was going to be kind of low production value or anything like that. So, we started adding a little more resources to it. And obviously, we had a talented group of people working with us. So it helped make it what it is today. And actually, the music that we used, you know, we we cut the film using a different piece of music, but there was a piece of music that there was no way that we were actually going to be able to buy it. It was like a Nina Simone track, and we're talking hundreds of thousands of
Right.
dollars. So basically, we started looking around for another artist whose music we thought might represent the film, and a friend of mine, Stefan Elfassi, who's a kind of longtime music industry guy. He used to manage Sebastian Tellier and Air. Him and said, we're trying to find the right music for it. And he mentioned this band who is out of the UK. Suddenly, just like Kit Sebastian is the name. And so he kind of recommended one
Mm.
song by them, and I started listening through, and there was another song that I thought, this is kind of interesting, because another side of it is Alem is actually, her family's Tunisian, so there's this whole element that
Oh wow.
of that I wanted to reflect somehow in the film. And then I heard this piece of music, and one of the girls in the band, she's actually Turkish, and there was this sort of specific instrumentation in it that kind of brought something else a little different than just kind of being like, let's say, a typical, French pastiche kind of song or something. So we ended up going in this other direction, and we really loved that kind of like the weird mystery and kind of
Yeah,
kind of
it's
world
cool.
music feel of it.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely feels like international or worldly, or it doesn't feel
Yeah, so
like you can completely identify it, but has like notes of like definitely something,
yeah,
not from
yeah.
here, not
So
from.
that's kind of how that came together, and there you go. There's a film.
That's cool. So where can people see it now? Like, is
Uh, well, I think it's. I don't know if it's on the LM website somewhere, but it's on the. That's the thing. We never intended it to be a kind of film that was really going to have a place to live. So it went on Instagram feeds, and it obviously goes on my reel and things like that. It was more
well,
of just a kind of creative expression. Any
yeah,
project with a pure intention of like getting a
having
kind of audience for it or anything like that. It was just like, okay, we've got an opportunity to make a film. Let's do it. And it was an opportunity to do something a little different than I do in the commercial world. Uh, you know,
yeah, for sure.
it's not that often you get a chance to shoot black and white when you're doing commercials. So it was like, okay,
Yeah,
like I can just do it. Nobody's going to
that's
tell me I
cool.
can't do it. So
Yeah, that's the cool part, right? No one's
yeah,
telling you, you got to show more product, or
yeah. Well, I think that was one of the things with this film was like that was intentional for me to try to show product, as much as possible, because it's a little different scenario when
right.
you're making it for your wife's brand. It's like, okay, we gotta make sure that
Yeah,
we know what this is for as much as possible. So we tried to do it in a style
yeah,
that fit with everything. So that's
yeah.
how
I
we ended
mean,
up there.
yeah, it's obviously super stylish. It's awesome. I mean, it really, to me, it feels it's really on brand for the, and
Yeah,
I'm a Lem lifer as far as
you mentioned how many
what's
pairs of
that?
LM glasses you. You
Yeah,
should
yeah. I'm
mention.
sporting my. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
You're breaking up a little bit, so I
yeah.
can't. I could,
No, I was saying you should mention how many pairs of LM glasses you have.
well, that's funny you say that. You know, all I have right now is empty LM cases. All the LM glasses that I've lost.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, I'll have to get you a refill on those.
I think that's all in my drawer, and then I have a bunch of other. I still have plenty of cases, plenty of glasses, but not as. I need to come up and like get some new ones for sure.
Yeah, it looks like you need a major refill there.
I only wear. That's all I wear. You know, please tell her like that. I don't wear any other glasses.
Yeah.
That's it. So like, yeah, I tell people I'm sponsored. Like when I was a skateboarder.
Yeah.
Well, cool. What else? What else
What
is
else?
going
I
on in
mean,
your life? Like,
the major preparation right now is to move to Paris. Like we're moving the family back to Paris, so that's taking a lot of my time and creative space right there.
yeah,
Just kind of making that transition, and also in terms of, for a long time that was my major source of work, came out of Europe. That as
right.
I came to the US, that transitioned a little bit, but so it's, now that I'm heading back, I'm trying to reopen doors with a lot of the clients that I worked with before there, and connections and things like that. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. I love doing the European work, so it'll
Well,
be good to
I'm
be
looking
back.
forward to spending time with you guys there again, like we used to in the old days. That was fun.
The old
That was
days, yeah.
definitely a really cool part of my life.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
I'm glad to have a connection back there, but also we'll miss you guys. But it's not like we see each
Well,
other every
yeah,
day
that's the
anyway.
thing. Yeah, I find that, one of the things when we moved to LA, one of my friends said to me, I said, "Hey, Chris, you last I see you now." And he's right. Can you hear me there?
Yeah,
No, yeah, yeah. So it's like
yeah,
a lot of the people in
yeah. I'm
LA,
kind of.
I don't even see my friends in LA. I see people when they come to visit, or when I come to visit LA. That's when I end up seeing people.
Well, like you always are like, oh, I'll just see you. I'll see you when I see. But like, if you're like, I'm in Paris and you guys are there, like we carve
Yeah,
out time to hang out and
yeah,
like do like two days in a row, or or whatever. So it's
yeah.
just like, and you get like more focused time. I mean, it's you know, I actually I think that those times you spend together are often more valuable than the random. I mean,
Yeah, and I think
you've had some good backyard parties in Venice. Those haven't been terrible.
we've had
That
some
hasn't been
backyard parties,
terrible.
but I think we're both looking forward to getting back to Paris and being in a bit more of a European environment, and
And
a little
and
less car time and things like that.
Helio will go to a French school, I'm sure, right? French.
Yeah, well, he's gonna. That's one of the reasons that one of the main reasons we want to move back. So he's starting kindergarten this year, so we want to start him in a more European environment. So he's start first year. He's going to do a Montessori school, mix of French and English, because he probably isn't ready for a full 100% French uh, intellectual education, if you will. I think he's.
Well, Lucas started with no French at all in French
Yeah,
public school
yeah,
at age 6 or something. So
yeah. He
Helio
picked
will
it up
be fine.
quick. I mean, he speaks French, but I think it's like, obviously when you enter like real education, like a proper French education, and it's a bit different than the school he goes to here in Venice, which is like, they say some French words, but it's not quite an immersive
Yeah, yeah,
environment. I mean, of course, my wife is speaking with them all the time in French. So
yeah.
that's yeah. But
Well,
yeah, so that's
Lucas
been
still
kind of,
speaks French.
yeah. Well, he should. He's probably speaks French much better than I do.
Yeah,
I got to get back practicing.
he's good, man. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. So we'll see. I mean, his stepdad still talks to him in French all the time, so he still has that thing, which I'm super happy about. So,
Yeah.
but cool.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's basically what I've been working on. I've been, because there's been a lot more downtime with shooting commercials. I'm
yeah,
spending more
it's
time,
been so
shooting
wacky this year.
photography and kind of trying to do things for myself creatively. And that's where I'm at with photography in general. It's kind of something more for me, but I end up doing shooting the brand stuff and things like
Yeah.
that. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, it's fun to like, I mean, obviously you got a lot of creative freedom, but it also helped that you knew like the brand so well, because it's like, I would find it really difficult to like, um, especially when with the way it all came together so fast to like be able to put something together that was so on brand for what I, at least in my perspective of for a limb and such, I mean,
yeah. I mean,
obviously it was an inside
I
job, but still it's
yeah.
like,
Like I said, it's osmosis. It's like if you spend enough time around another person, if it, it's probably the one unique qualification I have is that I can, that I've spent so much time around them that I know exactly what she likes, exactly what she
yeah,
doesn't like, and so,
yeah,
or as best I can. So, a lot of that was just trying to take inspiration from everything I see her gravitate towards, and turn that into a kind of visual story. And there you go.
yeah. Well, cool, man. It was really well done. It was really well done, and
Thanks,
thanks for
man.
sharing it with us.
Yeah, nice
And
chatting over the with the
yeah, beautiful
microphone and the
chat,
hat.
by the way. What a
Lovely.
great! I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I'll be up there soon to kind of stock up on some new
All
glasses,
right. Yeah. Let me know.
and I want to get Helio and Jet together to be, they have a fondness for each other. I could tell in the few times that they've hung out. So
Oh yeah, that's the other. My latest project is getting back on a skateboard, which is kind of scary since I haven't done it since I was 13.
what? Why would
But
you do that?
because my son Elio, that's what he wants to do is ride skateboards. So
Helio wants to
I had to
skateboard.
buy one for him, but now I'm the one doing the skateboarding around in the parking lot.
I can skateboard, but I'm just so scared of
Yeah,
falling.
it's not the same anymore.
No,
It's
dude.
not the same.
I fell down the stairs the other day. It was like a crisis in my house. It was wild. I have a huge bruise on my backside. Like, who falls down the stairs, dude, at
Yeah,
age 45 or whatever
yeah.
I am?
What's going on there?
Oh, dude, I just slipped and fell like an old person. It was crazy, dude.
All right, let's end it with that.
I was like, I have a bruise this big on like my glutes.
Let's talk about medical problems. That's very interesting.
All right, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. All right, let's get out of here.
See you, man.
All right, buddy, later.
Bye.
Bye.